Hello, my cyber babies. Welcome to another fantastic day with Dr. Mother Love and Mr. Kennedy. Happy St. Patty's Day. So, everybody in the world who is partly Irish, like I am, I know you're going to go, well, I told my
What part?
oh, wait, hold on.
What part is Irish?
I, a bunch of parts. See, now you're being funny.
Oh
Nah,
no, I'm just asking.
well, all my, well, all, I'm 13%. Well, okay, I take that back. My grandmother, my father's mother, she was 13% Irish, and she had flaming
Really?
hair, and she had freckles, and she had they weren't green, but her eyes were lighter than everybody else's, and
Oh,
quiet as it's kept. I thought she was a white lady. You know,
really?
I thought she was a white lady. I thought my auntie, his sisters, I thought they was all white.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because everybody was very, very fair skinned. My father was a light complexion person. Don't you hate when
As well.
when they use words that sound crazy? Like there's no such thing as light complected. People say, yeah,
Oh,
they
like
light.
complected.
Yeah, some of the stuff that we say is that people say that is just so all wrong. But nonetheless, on today, kiss me, Irish, got it, got both of them. So
Got both.
yeah, and we found out that we were part Irish a few years. Well, this was a long time ago. This is even before Ancestry.com and 23andMe. All those came on the market. We were doing a historical search, and just to see how far back we could go. And as far as
Okay.
we could go, and on my side of the family with my mom, we could go all the way back to my great I knew my great grandmother. I knew my grandmother, my great grandmother, and okay, so you go my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, myself, our son, and his
Okay.
go 6 generations, and
Six generations back.
generations that I can remember. Right when my great grandmother was living, she used to always tell us about her siblings and how hard life was, and she was a really mean person. My great
Was she really?
she was really mean, and she seemed like she was angry and or sad all the time. And I was like, well,
Well, maybe.
yeah, she wasn't the Irish part because
Oh, but she wasn't lucky. She didn't feel lucky.
she must have not felt lucky. And so anyway, we were talking and somebody said, "Oh, I know what it was that we were talking about. Where we came from." And I had said, the places that I wanted to go in my life in
Okay.
time, and one of them was to Ireland. And everybody, you know how your people are. First thing they said was, "Ain't no black people in Ireland." I said, "Have you been there to find out if it's black people in Ireland?" And it was like, "Well, no." I said, "Well, don't make assumptions because I wanted to go. I wanted to go kiss the Blarney Stone. I wanted to find me a leprechaun and the whole thing." And
Well, I think what was little known to a lot of black people in America is that if you go to Europe, there's black people all over Europe.
all over,
All over Europe.
all
But
over.
if you never travel to Europe, you just assume the only black people are here in America.
No, there,
I mean, for the most part, which is strange, but it's how people are territorial,
yeah.
and they'll automatically, well, yeah, only black people I know are the ones that I know, but that doesn't mean that other black people don't exist around the globe.
You know what I well, and that we've seen this in research that the average person when as they get older and they become
Yes.
they don't move more than 25 miles from where they grew up.
Well, now they say it's 30.
Oh,
They got extra 5 miles.
but I mean, because you see, and they were always saying to me, "Oh, you dream all outside. I don't know where you get all
Outside the box,
outside the box. I was outside the
the
crate,
circle.
you outside the lines, the whole 9 yards." And they would always say, I don't know what make you think you're gonna travel the world." I'm like, "What makes you think I won't?" And
Okay.
when I get the crickets, and I go, "Well, okay, well, some people you could deal with, and you could tell them your dreams and visions, and some people you can't." And a lot of times, when you go to your family and your friends and you tell them what it is you want to do, this is the first thing they want to do:
Shoot you down.
shoot it down. And I learned to dodge the bullets. That's what I did. I learned to dodge the bullets, and I wasn't gonna allow anybody to tell me who, who I could be, what I can and cannot do, who I can and cannot love. And I was like, y'all need to get you some business. I saw this T-shirt that said, "There's two places that you can stay in your lane, and there's two places that you can reside." Uh, uh, wait a minute, I'm gonna get it right. It says the two places that you can reside. I'm gonna get it. It's gonna come to
Okay, and your lane and out of mine.
and out of mind. There you go. You can stay on your in your mind and out of my lane. And saying a lot of folk want to get over into your lane and push you or try to back you up and stop so you can't go any further.
Oh,
I'm like, I want to just say, no. I just look at my hair; it's real poofy. None of
oh, okay. So
that.
you unpoof it.
Uh, I almost took it off and started shaking it because that's what I do.
Oh, Lord.
So, we're
Not
gonna
today.
not today,
Not
not today.
not.
I have done it before. I
Okay.
set a D life, and it was real hot that day, and for whatever reason, the air conditioning wasn't working in the studio properly, and so. And I had long braids. I mean, down to here. That's the only time
Oh,
I had long braids again. I had to buy it, have somebody put it on for me. And so it was time to, they were calling each other out. Everybody got their chance to, walk out and do whatever it is thing they did that was
mm-hmm.
going to our seats. And I was standing back there sweating. Oh my God, it was just horrible. And I don't want to mess up my clothes. And because you can't, if you sweat in them, you have to buy them. I'm just letting,
No.
I'm just letting y'all know. And I have very expensive taste.
Well,
I,
you do.
you, okay, well, I didn't think
Very expensive.
I didn't think it was expensive.
Okay.
When I was 14 and I started working, I saw this pair of shoes in one of those high-end magazines, and I saw this bad pair of navy blue slingbacks with this beautiful. It was just it looked like a piece of jewelry on the shoe,
Okay.
and that was the one thing I didn't have to share with any of my sisters or any of my friends
Oh.
because my feet were so tiny, and
Uh-huh.
just I didn't start wearing a size 8 shoe till I was pregnant.
Oh, and then your feet got big.
I was like, yeah. Well, see, he laughing over there, y'all.
Okay.
Saying, but he was this was the same guy that I told him, I said, "Oh, look at my feet. Oh, they look like loaves of bread. They're all puffed up." And he said, "Come on, put your feet up here.
Oh,
And let me rub your feet." And I was like, and he go, and you still, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And it was like one time I'm just bouncing all over the place because the stories.
okay.
Nonetheless, we're going back to being Irish, and it's
Okay.
Patty's Day, and Chicago dyes their lake, their river green every
Yes. And they dyed it this past Saturday,
year.
and then it rained this past Sunday.
So it's
So, so you have one day of Irish Green River, and the next day snowflakes.
okay. Cause see,
But that's typical spring, though.
that's it's
No,
it's
it
not
is typical
spring,
spring.
but it's not spring yet, is it?
Well, I mean, spring approaching.
Okay,
This Thursday, it's the first day of spring.
wait, hold on, y'all. I got
Okay. Well, yeah, this Thursday is the first official day of spring, and so if you are someone who can't wait for the weather finally to change and to be able to get outdoors more, well, spring is only a few days away now, and we'll be into the next season.
I wonder what that's going to be like because the climate has changed dramatically, not just here but around the world, and we're having these horrific disasters and
Yes.
powers that be in the political arena. Who are snatching everything away, including us having a clean environment, us burning less fossil fuel or
Well,
burning at all.
the sad part about that is there are greed is taking a step in front that you're not looking at the environment. But after we watch more and more disasters happen, and all the money that it costs to replace things that are destroyed during these disasters, maybe people will change their mind and start thinking differently about disasters and about the climate change that we are facing, and
They
want to make a change.
we
Sometimes it takes something really bad
really
and
dress
horrible before people say, "Okay, well, I get it. Yeah, I understand what you're
this
saying now."
it
When
happens.
I did before.
It doesn't happen to it. That happens to other people. That doesn't.
Yeah, there's always someone else, never to you.
No, oh no, it's never me. And then when it comes to you, when it comes to your front door in your
Yes.
house and tearing everything up, and then you go, oh. Yeah, I guess I should have paid attention to what they were saying.
Yeah,
Climate change. And folk, just so you know, climate change affects all of us. It is not. It's not. It's an equal opportunity destroyer. It could kill
that it is.
you.
That it is.
How much money you have. It doesn't have that. It's an equal opportunity destroyer, and we have got to understand. Uh, the Earth is a living, breathing planet.
Yes.
You, we don't take care of her, she's not gonna take care of you. And you can't be jumping up and down when all hell break loose, and you're like, "Oh Lord, please help me! Oh Lord, please help me!" I
But
remember
that is generally what we do.
what. We can do better, and we have
Yes.
tools to do better. And so, and that's one of the things I wanted to chat about. And another thing, it is Women's History Month
Yes, it is.
all month long, and there's
International Women's
and
History Month.
National Women's Day. And it's a good thing that we can come together and celebrate what women have accomplished and what men need and throughout our lifetime and throughout the creation of man and women. Uh,
Yes.
y- and we know this. This is, see, I know why God made me a woman
Why is that?
because He knew I could handle it.
Okay.
Every,
Say no more.
right. That's it. That's all. It's the same thing about like I hate being called black. Because I'm not black. You see my shirt? My shirt is black. My skin is brown. So if you're gonna do the whole color thing and go with the right go get the right crayon colors in the crayon box.
Okay, well, I wonder now how many crayons are in that box for every, because there's more than one shade of people.
Exactly.
Okay, there's not one, there's
No,
one general shade, but then there are variations of all shades of it, of all people.
and
You could be white and be a light skinned white person or a dark skinned white
you can't. There's
person.
no such
Okay, wait a minute.
white
Be-
people. Have you
be-
ever seen a white crayon? It's
yeah.
useless. A white
Oh,
crayon is useless. People are not white. People are not black. People are not yellow. People are not red. There
okay.
are different hues of.
Oh, okay. That's an easy identifier that we have for one another. We'll put it that way. It's an easy identifier of people.
And why should I mean we live in a racist country and talking about we don't need affirmative action, we don't need diversity and equity and inclusion. We want to just have all them go away. We're going to get rid of the Department of Education because we want to control the narrative about history. Okay, but you can't do that. It's not humanly possible. You can write it down different. It doesn't change the story. When we,
I mean, now that you have the internet, I
mm,
mean, everything is out there, and you can always go back and look something up. So it's no such thing as erasing anything, because stuff happens. I mean, history is made every single day,
every day, every
every single day, every single moment. Something happened today that never happened before because it happened today.
like the people that got stuck up the people that got stuck up on the space station for 9
Congratulations, they're on their way home. They land tomorrow. They land tomorrow. In Florida. I read out, well, in the ocean, next to Florida,
uh,
and
uh,
they don't land. They don't land. They don't. The spaceship doesn't land on land. It lands in the ocean,
right.
and then they pick up the capsule and they bring it back on shore. But
That's
yes, they land tomorrow, right on the coast of Florida,
I want to know
on the
this.
east coast of Florida.
I want to know this. And
Yes.
he never really did give me an answer. All he did was bust out laughing.
And who
I
was
had
that?
I had the pleasure and the honor of meeting astronaut Buzz Aldrin. And we had a great conversation. Oh my goodness. Before I met him, had the opportunity to sit down and chat with him and talk about his experience of being an astronaut, being in space, and being able to land on the moon. Because look, I saw Capricorn 1. And
And
then
two,
and no,
three.
no, they just had one
Oh,
Capricorn 1, and
okay.
it was so controversial. I'm surprised that you probably could look it up on the internet. And
I
there's
can find a copy of it.
but the Capricorn 1, it was the story of where they had staged the moon landing, and
No.
they did it in a big studio.
What a movie. I
Oh,
mean, maybe the movie said they staged it. NASA said they landed.
right.
Now, who do you want to believe? Capricorn 1 or the NASA?
Okay, well, see, I was, I was at first, I thought, well, I think there are other living beings out there in the universe. I don't think it's just us humans, you know,
Why?
because the universe is too vast. How are you gonna tell somebody you live 300 light years away? What happened to the 300 heavy years? If it's light, it's got to be an opposite, And
No,
well,
okay. When they say 300 light years, okay, we won't even live a fraction of a 1 light year, less known 300 light years.
okay, that was my point.
Okay, but the point being, eventually, that's why you keep sending things out into space, because you learn how to maneuver and travel, and eventually, we will be Star Trek. You'll be beaming me up, Scotty.
Listen,
From one planet to another planet, from one location to another, that you would have spaceships that can travel by the speed of light.
oh yeah. Well,
Okay, we've already broken the sound barrier.
yeah, and then sonic boom and everything, and
Okay, so
I
we
got.
will continue
Let me
to
tell you what.
progress.
Let me tell you what. I'm not that. Well, I am impressed. I got really impressed after I got to talk to Buzz Aldrin, and
Okay.
we were talking, and he asked me what did I think about space travel and
Yes.
sending men to the moon, and I was like, so now let's just tell me straight up. I can handle it.
Okay.
How do we know that you actually landed on the moon? And you knew what and I want to know how they could aim for the moon and land on the moon. Anyway, he said through technology, education, and a lot of preparedness. I prepared them to go out in space and to land
Yes.
on the moon. And
Yes.
it's like, tell me what that was like for you. He said, this is what he said. I'm an astronaut. My thing is numbers and statistics and facts, something that I can prove. And
Yes.
that's what and I respect that. And he said, I'm gonna tell you
Oh,
this.
so then wait a minute. If you respect that, then how could then? But you just mentioned earlier about Capricorn 1. So now, did you believe Buzz Oz? When
Well,
he told you,
okay, let
or did you believe Capricorn 1?
let me finish telling the story.
Okay.
Now, so we're on the set, and he was our guest,
Yes.
the guest for that day. And
Yes.
so I was always fast. I'm like, I just want to know if they really did land on the moon. If Capricorn 1 was really really true, or was it an enactment? Did they really
Okay.
land on the moon? Was it fake? He said,
Yes.
uh, Mother Love, you can't fake something like that. And I was like, okay.
Oh.
He said, when I got there, he had the numbers and everything. And
Okay.
there, and he said when he landed on the moon and he got out of the spaceship and he landed on the moon and do what they do, and he said when he landed on the moon, his back was to the earth, and he said, Mother Love, I turned around and the first thing I said and that I put out there in the universe, and he said he saw Earth just right there in the atmosphere. There were no strings attached. It was, the water, oceans were still there. And he said he was in such awe. And like I said earlier, he said, I'm a statistical person. I gotta make sense to me.
Yes.
He said he turned around and he knew there is a God. Not there was a God. There is a God. Because
Okay.
a God like powerful entity could have a planet that's just suspended literally into midair, and the sun is evolving around the earth.
And
And
one thing I thought about.
hmm,
No, I mean, I don't know. It's that, okay, when we look up at the moon, because the moon is so much smaller than the Earth,
mhm,
then when we look at it, we see the shape of the moon, and it's small. You can see, the darkness around the moon.
mhm.
But now, when he was standing on the moon and he looked back towards Earth, would have saw the planet, because it's so big that he would have saw the space around the planet too?
He saw the space around the planet. He saw it just being there, it, right there in the atmosphere. And he said, "I'm not a really a religious person. I know that there is a God." And he
Okay.
said when he turned around, he was on the side where he could see Australia, and
Oh.
yeah, he could see the whole continent.
Okay.
He could see other parts of the earth that were on
Yes.
that side because it was daylight
Yes.
on that side. And
Okay.
he was like, "There is a God. You can say whatever you want to say." And when he told me that, I said, "So, uh, Jesus Christ really is, because the only way that he could see that, he had
Yes.
to not be on earth." And when Satan was trying to tell him, "Oh, I let you have everything over there. You can have," he said, You can't give me anything. This whole thing belongs to my father. You have no say in this. Not in this part. Now you go out there and figure out what you can do. And that's I believe when Satan started going for people's souls. I want
Yes.
your soul. And I'll give you the world. And
Yes.
some people bought into it, and some people seem like they still buy into it. And they want power more than they want anything. Not for the good of the country, the good of the community, not for the good of people. I just want more power. And I say on St. Patrick's Day, we take all of our ancestry, all of our Native American blood, our Irish blood, our pioneer blood, all of that, and we put it to good use and we stand together and realize we're all on this ship.
Now, are you gonna have an Irish? Are you gonna have a green beer or
I,
or whiskey? A shot
I,
of whiskey?
yeah, right. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna drink some green whiskey. Yeah, right.
No, I didn't say green beer. I said,
No,
just a shot of whiskey,
I'm gonna make.
not drinking.
I'm gonna
No,
make.
see, not indulge.
Oh,
Just take a shot.
no.
That's the difference.
No, don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. That's when you know some stuff you shouldn't put in your mouth. Some
Okay.
stuff you shouldn't drink around. I do not, and I had to make this declaration. And I love
Okay.
my Chinese family. And when we went to China, and they treated us like rock stars. Yeah, we've been to China, and we go out and see the world. We want to know what's going on over there. And so we're there, and they got this big, huge, giant table. It must have sat 20 people in a big circle, and they had this big, giant, lazy Susan where they put all the food on it. And I found out in China, Chinese culture, you gotta know how other people live, how other people think. And when you do that, you can
Yeah.
find out that we're more alike than we are different. And
Okay. Well, I know one thing. I know one thing we are more alike than anything else.
what?
Like chicken. The
Yeah.
chicken don't stand a chance. Any place you go on the planet, that somebody's eating some chicken.
Somebody eating some chicken. Okay,
Eating some chicken.
so we're over
Somewhere, somehow, some way, chicken is being consumed.
and in China, they put pork on everything. Like in Hawaii, they put pork in everything. I mean, they got a dish that's just, they put a whole pig inside a big deep pit and put these big banana leaves on it, let it sit in the ground, let the earth, it was awesome. I don't eat pork, but I just had to try a piece of it in my mouth, and I chewed it and chewed it, and I, spit it out and everything, because I was like, I could eat this whole pig if they let me.
By yourself.
By myself.
All by yourself.
No, I wouldn't have made it because.
Oh.
So anyway, so we're having this big dinner, and they fed us constantly. We had this big giant dinner.
Yes.
And then it came time for the drinks, and
Okay.
there are not a lot of really tall Chinese people. They're all about my height, or
Okay.
some of them I look a lot taller than, and they're just was lovely. So they decided that they wanted us to try. They bought some kind of Chinese drink,
Uh-huh.
and it was in a little bottle.
Sake.
No, I don't know what that was, but it was in a little bottle like this.
That's sake.
Smaller than a pint bottle here in the United States when you go.
It's sake.
Okay, it's sake. I thought
Yes.
that was Japanese. I could be wrong, but nonetheless,
Well, I could be wrong too, but whatever. Any event,
Google it.
liquor.
This was more than liquor. Let me tell you something.
It was.
And these guys, and they got these little bitty tiny little cups like this, and they put it in this little cup. It's like a capsule, and they pour it in it just like enough to coat the bottom of the glass and maybe a half
Okay.
cup. Am I boring you? You just
No.
put a big yawn in my face.
I'm sorry. My
No.
bad.
This is what happened when we don't take our siesta in the middle of the afternoon. Yes, we do nap. And so they decided it was time to have some, after dinner cocktails. But it wasn't cocktails. This was just straight out this bottle. So I was like, hey, they're not drinking a lot of this. It must not be that potent. What did I do? I poured me this much. I filled the little glass up. Matter of fact, I went to filled the little glass up. Then I just started throwing them back. By the time I got past I drank 2 of them, which was stupid in the first place. And I tried to get into the third one. Next thing I knew, I got up and I was like, I'm sliding down the chair. I'm not even standing up anymore. I can't even stand up. And this is what I was doing at the table in China. I think we could have been in Beijing. Well, wherever we were in China, I went from sitting up here smiling, grinning, I started sliding down in the chair. I was like, wait, I can't feel my butt. I can't feel my butt. So I get back, I get myself back up,
Mm-hmm.
When it was time to get up to walk out, I know you remember this part. You had to come and get me up out the chair to stand me up because I was drunker than Cooter Brown off of two of these little drinks, and they was just drinking like it was water. I'm like, I made it. I made it a pact. I will not drink with men from China ever because they can hold their liquor. And I thought I could hold my liquor. I could, but it was American liquor because that stuff had to be like 412% alcohol.
Oh well.
And the best part about it was, we drink straight here. Like
Yeah.
when I was drinking alcohol, my favorite drink was Jack Daniel.
Jack Daniels on the rock.
I know I
No,
ain't
just Jack Daniels straight
like no, I ain't like
with a soda back.
yeah, and people put soda in Jack Daniel. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. How you put soda in a 12-year-old Scotch Dewar Scotch? That's a
Easily.
12-year-old
Just pour it in there and guzzle it down.
liquor down. And she was sprinkle. These were premier, and I could take them. I couldn't take that.
You couldn't?
Mm-mm. You know what I did do though?
What did you do?
I had to take I said, can I just have this little bottle? And they said, yeah, you sure you can. You want another one? I'm like, no, I just want to take this one. So
No, just one souvenir.
when I tell the people what it was, and even after I got it back home, I didn't open I opened up the bottle, and you could still smell the liquor.
Mm,
And
mm,
I was like, wonder what my pieces parts are saying on the inside. Oh, see, chick, you funny. Oh, you think you're gonna get away with it? Never drink another one of them like ever again. Now you
okay.
do that. I'm game for new adventures.
Trying new things.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things, I don't have a bucket list because I'm living on borrowed time. I knew that long time ago, and I want to see and I want to go and I want to know how they're thinking. And after
Okay, how was they thinking?
it was kind of odd, but that's their culture, and you have to respect how people want to live their culture. I was surprised at how little Chinese women have to say about pretty much anything. The men rule their lives, like in the Jewish community. And when you're what they call a Hasidic, I think Hasidic Jew, Hasidic
Jews.
Jewish people, and they go by the book. You don't wear, women don't come out with their head uncovered. You can't go out by yourself. You have as many kids as you want to have. The whole 9 yards, and they didn't have choices that they could make for themselves. And I just didn't even know what to do with that kind of information.
I
And
know.
I remember when we were getting prepared to go to China, we went with a business delegate, and they taught us about. Uh, it was this beautiful young woman from China. Her name is Stacy Sun, and wherever you are, Stacy, and anybody that knows her, please tell her to call Mother Love and Mr. Kennedy. I just want to just
The
reconnect.
number's still the same. We pay the bill.
And she said, she gave us, the basics about how to conduct your life and yourself and your business when you get to China. And it has
Mhm.
protocols. And so she gave everybody gave us all a general, so we were there for like 9 or 10 days, something like that. And so she gives us, this overall uh, uh, conversation about how to behave, what the cultures are, how you do business,
Not to be hugging folks in public.
okay, and don't make big gestures. And I just made a big gesture.
And I got a pain.
I got a pain. And
I
so
got a pain.
I got a pain. And so,
From
okay,
the big gesture.
so when everybody leaves, and she said, "Well, Mother Love, I'd like to talk to you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I get a private audience." She says, "Now, Mother Love, I need you to understand the Chinese culture." And 'cause she's Chinese American, and
Yeah.
she was one of the delegates
Yes.
to for the Chinese and American relations, and so
Yes.
the business side. And so she said, "Now I have to tell you now. Please listen to what I'm saying. Now, when you get off the plane, we're going to be in Beijing because we went to Beijing, then we went to Shanghai
No, we went to Shanghai,
first.
Dalian, and then
Uh,
Beijing.
Beijing.
okay, so she said, I need you to use your indoor voice all the time. They don't display emotions in public,
Right.
Right.
and they don't like loud talking.
Correct.
And so, and you can't hug them, don't touch them on the top of their head. Uh, when you're sitting down at a business meeting, if you cross they don't like for people to cross their legs because it's rude and disrespectful if they see the bottom of somebody's shoe. So you don't
Well,
do.
don't be looking under the table.
Well, no, but sometimes you.
Okay, I'm just being
I,
sarcastic.
I,
I'm saying if you don't want to see it, don't look.
so like, and we were like, she was like, we're in. See, that's the very reason why I have to have this conversation privately with you, Mother Love, and we're gonna have to keep you in a controlled environment.
Control.
I tell people that all the time. I don't have a problem with that because
Is
sometimes
that why Janet Jackson wrote that song, Control?
because she
You're thinking about you.
yeah she did. They write a lot of songs about me.
Okay.
Roger Troutman wrote my theme song, More Bounce to the Ounce. Y'all
Oh,
can say
yeah.
what y'all want to. Roger Troutman made the song for Mother Love. Look
Okay.
it up, Google it. And that was my theme music. And I would come out, I'd be, bum, and I'd bounce and do the whole thing. Everything be wiggling at
All right.
the same time. And so anyway, we get there and everything she told me to not do, my it just took over. It just I got off the plane. And wherever I go, I always kiss the ground and thank God that we made it there safely.
Okay.
I did it too hard and I was sucking rocks. I thought I was gonna choke myself. And so I gotta get up off the tarmac and
Yes.
walking into Shanghai. And it was a scabillion people in the airport. And I was like, this is really crowded. And you reminded me there are 1.5 billion people here. Like, how I couldn't even fathom that. And what did I do? I tried to hug as many of them as I could.
You had to hug 1.5 billion people.
Just the people in the airport.
Oh, just the ones in the airport.
In the airport. And the only reason why it came out because and I don't speak Chinese. I know how to say "siso chen." That might be Japanese or Vietnamese, but that means go to the bathroom. Where to do it?
Okay, and whatever language.
Yeah,
I got to go.
I got to go.
Got to go. I got to go now.
And people out so I get up and I'm looking around and I'm taller than the majority of them. And two older Chinese women, this shocked me. Two older Chinese women, they came up to me and they go, I said whatever they were saying in Chinese, and all I could understand was you the mother love. I thought they were saying you the mother love. And she said, take picture. And I was like, I thought I wasn't supposed to do this. So I put my arm around both of them. They was cheesing. We was all smiling. Next thing I know, it's a line of people. They had to come
They
down.
wanted to take a picture.
Yeah, they had to. Let me tell you, we made this. It wasn't me. The Chinese lady started that. I was gonna, stay with the rules and regulations. And they
really.
Yeah, why you have to say it? You have to say it
for 5 minutes.
Well, I did.
No, it was 6 minutes in your own, Mother Love. 6 minutes in your own.
I mean, they made me feel so welcome. And I mean, literally, after them two ladies left my side and got their pictures, I'm getting ready to go. And here come a whole deluge. Take picture, take picture, take picture. And I took a picture with all of them to you, Stacy, and the other people. And it was like, we have to go now. And Stacy told, no more pictures. And Stacy is a tall woman. And she's a tall woman, beautiful, and she looked like she was the person in charge.
She was in charge.
She was in charge. She told him, she said, "No more pictures." And y'all
she got to go.
So
she got to go.
Escort me.
And they said, "Okay," and they let you go, and then you off to the next one.
I was off
next group.
And so I had a blast in China. We went to the Great Wall of China.
Yes, we did.
The stories that we heard about them building that massive wall. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world.
And I walked a mile and a half on it.
I know I wasn't doing it. I got up to like the second story and I was like, okay, that's it. That's all. Let me take some pictures all the way up here. Because you get up so high, you start getting your hair start getting light. And I was like,
lightheaded.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I want to do this part right here. And it was just amazing when they were building the Great Wall of China. If you messed up somewhere, they would cut your hand off, and then you still had to work with one hand. If they caught you again, they cut off the other hand. I'm like, so
I'd have been putting somebody else's initials on the bricks.
See,
that might have been wrong, but that's what I would have been doing.
Wrong. See, that'd be wrong. And so that's why I say, when wherever you come from, and we all came from someplace.
From someplace.
All came from someplace. This is a country built on immigrants. And
yes.
And The Statue of Liberty says, "Bring me your poor, your tired, your huddled masses yearning to be free." And we didn't even know what free meant when we were, in this country, because it's gone through so many changes and so much political turmoil. I mean, this is the worst I've ever seen it. And that's why we really have to take our history. You can't change where you come from. You can't change who you were born, and how you were born, and what family you were born into. The greatest thing you could do with that, from the time you were born, the year you're born, with that dash to the time you leave the planet, that's what's important. That's what's gonna, be your legacy. And
Yes, it will be.
decide, what do you want your legacy to be? You want to be that you hated so many people, that you did everything you could to destroy people because you just wanted to, bask in their suffering. And there's a
Okay,
difference
well, think about this though. And most funerals, no, and I say most, and I'm saying no matter what faith, what religion, who you are, most people do not talk bad about the dead, even though the dead might have done a lot of horrible things. But usually, when you go to the funeral, most of the time at the funeral, the pastor, the priest, the rabbi, whoever it may be, generally talks good of the person who's passed.
That's why I
I
think.
mean, they don't bring up they bring up the good side of you,
Yeah,
not the bad side.
yeah, but wait till they get to the repast and they start getting drunk, then the story
Well, then that's a whole nother story.
see. And funerals, I mean, I always thought they should be fun. The first three letters are FUN, fun or all, fun for all. That's what I.
Okay, well, the fun part comes in the repast. Well, it was more set aside for the repast than the service
Yeah,
itself.
well,
The service itself was supposed to be solemn, and you're paying homage to that person who passed. But now, when you get to the repast, now if you want to go buck wild, which a lot of people have when they start getting liquorized, that occurs too.
oh yeah, it does. And
Yes,
my God rest her soul, our mother was, how colorful our mother was.
yes, your mother was quite colorful, truly,
She added
truly.
87 different colors to the crayon box, because she was, I mean, it was so much knowledge and such a thirst for knowledge. And she was an avid reader, and so she could, she'll check you, she could check you. And I remember she said, uh right before she died,
Yes,
this real long conversation. She went through all of the kids, all of us, her sisters and brothers, her nieces and nephews, and she was telling me what she wanted to have done when she left the planet. And I said, "Mama, write it down, make it plain, because your other kids is crazy. They're crazier than me, and they gonna flip out." And I said, "Why aren't you telling this to your oldest child?" She said, "For what you just said, because she would flip out." I'm like, "Well, we all gonna kind of flip out, Mom, because that's gonna be something." And she goes, "Yeah, but I know you can handle it, and I know when you tell me you're gonna do something, I know you're gonna do it." And so she gave me this folder, and she told me what the music. She had her own funeral tape made, so we could play that, at the when people coming in to view her body and all this kind of stuff. And she said, "Don't wear black. I want y'all to all wear." And she always said she was gonna die in the spring. And she did. She said, "Wear spring colors, make it bright. Oh, and buy me a whole new outfit." And I thought to myself, "What you need a new outfit for? You dead. I don't even know why they put clothes on dead people." And she said, "I want to have my pantyhose on." I bought her pantyhose. They wouldn't put them on because they said that we ain't never put pantyhose on a dead woman. So I go down there and put her pantyhose on, and that was surreal. And and she said, "I want y'all to have fun at my funeral. I don't want them to be all maudlin and depressed. And it's too many big people in our family. One of them fall out. Y'all can't pick them big people up off the floor like that." And I said, "You right about that, Mom." So she said, "I want you to get up, and I want you to do one of your stand-up comedy routines about me." I was like, "Mom, at your funeral?" She said, "Yeah, because you'll keep it light." You know, I got up and did a 2-minute stand-up comedy eulogy for my mother. They was rolling on the floor. Everybody was laughing so hard. People going past the funeral, through the funeral. Didn't why them and it was packed. Some people said, "I didn't even know the funeral home had a balcony." Balcony was packed. Everybody was having a good time. I mean, it was a rollicking good time. I mean, it has to be a good time when the music playing with people coming in was one of my mother's favorite songs. "Meet me with your black drawers on." Google it. Yes, it really was. And people are shaking my hand and, oh, girl, it's so good to see you. Sorry about your mother. Oh, girl, it's so good to see you. Oh, your mama look good. And I'm like, no, she looked dead. Wait a minute. Yeah, I lost your audio. I'm losing. I lost your audio. Can you come back to the mic? Barely. I can barely. I can barely hear you. Uh-huh. But if you stay like that, I can still hear you and respond. But if you can speak up, first it was real loud. Now it's here. Nonetheless, so we have this great
You're a
funeral.
lot better now, though.
There you go.
Okay.
There you And so one of the things I have never liked at a funeral is when they close the casket because that's
Oh,
like,
that's
you know.
final.
And so our request was let everybody walk out, then had the pallbearers close the casket, then had the pallbearers come back up and carry her, put her on the gurney, her
Yes.
casket, and take her out to the
Okay.
so
Yes.
people were coming in and she had so many floral arrangements.
Mm.
It was like a flower shop. I mean,
Okay.
you remember she had she had it was flowers everywhere. I mean, literally, when they brought in the other volunteers to carry the baskets out, it
Yeah.
had to be at least 30, 40 floral arrangements because they had to get two cars to put all the flowers on. And we could walking out the funeral home, going to the car, and people are saying, okay, my mama real sick, mother love, and I know this might not be right because we at your mama funeral, but could you think about coming back to Cleveland and do this at my mama funeral? I was like, oh.
Okay.
I'm like, really? And then
Really?
like several people came up and they were like, girl, my husband is real sick. They didn't call it hospice at the time. They didn't use that word, but they was like, he got one foot on a banana peel and another one in the grave. And I was like, oh, okay. So literally, I would
Literally.
literally when I told you I better tell them to die on cue because I don't come back in the wintertime. So you better die in the summer in the spring. And so
Because it was April when we came back for your mother's. April 5th.
April,
April the 5th.
no, it was May.
April.
It was May. She died on
May.
she died on May the 5th, 3 days after our dad's birthday. She
Okay.
he was born on May 3rd. She died on May 5th. And when we got back there, I mean, it was like a party going on the whole time. They started remembering stories about her and fun stuff she used to say to us. People remember when she shot that gun, that loaded 38 up in the ceiling when all the teenagers was there. We could only have one friend in the house at a time. So you got
Only one at a time?
we could have one friend. So if
Okay.
everybody brought their one friend in, there would be 12 of us.
Yes.
And our uncles, our younger uncles that we grew up with, they didn't count. So we could have,
Oh.
and then we had we had 3 or 4 relatives that were all around the same age as we were. And we were all talking. She said, didn't I tell y'all to shut up? And that's when we found out how she was in on our conversations because she was standing over by the pipe with the
Mhm.
radiator. And it was like a gap in the pipe where the washer went.
Mhm.
She would move that out the way and hear everything we were saying. And
Mm.
we all thought she was like psychic or a witch or she was doing some kind of mad voodoo stuff.
The way she could know what y'all were talking.
And when she said, I know what you're thinking, and it was always me with the big mouth, and me and my sister, we always had a plan what we was gonna do, and she was the organizer, and she used to make me entertain her people at the cabaret parties. And I
Mhm.
said, well, don't I get paid? Do I get part of the door? Do I get part of? She's like, oh no, girl, I ain't paying you. You my sister. I was like, okay, next time I come, you're gonna have to pay me my rate. She didn't call me no more to do none, to do none of her events.
Oh, that was the end of you doing events when
If I
you wanted to be paid.
yeah, see, I have.
Okay.
So nonetheless, we had and people had got up at her funeral to say a few words. And I said, if anybody has anything they would like to say to pay homage, then one of the kids in the neighborhood who was really close to my brother One of
Yes.
our, well, he was close to both of our brothers. And
Yes, they were.
he gets up to the microphone and he was really broke up and he was crying on the way up there. And he was like, I just want y'all to know she treated me like her other son. We just all so close. And it was hard to watch him cry like that, you know. And I was an adult and, but
Okay.
all adults. And it was like, she treated me like a son. I mean,
Mm.
it was real close. Shoot, me and her oldest son, we got kids by the same woman.
And everybody went, oh!
He was there.
Anyway,
He heard it. It was not pretty.
and everybody just like, what? Really?
People started getting up confessing. They started confessing. I was like, oh, we have to end this right now. And then they would go on. That's why you only get 2 minutes if you get that at somebody's funeral. Use it wisely and don't go
Okay.
all over the whole place, because it was funny though. We
You're
had
not bringing up the
that
why you don't want to bring up all the things that people knew about.
that was the I would have to say my mother's funeral service was the number one. My girlfriend, when her husband got killed,
Yes.
and they found him dead in their basement, and his had to be the second one. And I've gotten put out of quite a few places,
Yes.
in my life and in my career. And,
Yes.
and people say, who would put Mother Love out? You don't even know. I mean,
Well, you found out the hard way. I mean, a lot of things have happened at funerals and christenings and that we won't name.
You had to bring up the christening, didn't you?
No, I didn't have to. I didn't give any details.
Oh yeah, well
Okay. Now, are we gonna leave the details out and just say it was a good time had by all?
we know where all the bodies are, and all the bodies got.
Okay.
So I mean, we it's some stuff.
Yes, it
I
was.
spilled the beans on my entire life. I have no secrets. I have said everything. I just
You had.
I just didn't tell it to everybody. It would have to be people coming back from the dead to tell them stories that I told them. And most of them at this age, they can't remember. So that's a real good. But they know
That's a good thing.
If
If people can't remember, then they can't tell on you if they can't remember.
this is when you've been friends for a long time. You forget which one of you are the bad influence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See.
Okay.
Because you just never know. And
it flip flops.
yeah, it does. It all depends. And I just want to take this time right now. I know we're just talking about a whole bunch of stuff. I want to take light because there's so many awful things that are happening to this country. And
I mean, but today is a good day right now because it's St. Patrick's Day, and you can, whether you're Irish or not, you can go out and enjoy.
Every time you say Irish, you have to give me a kiss.
Irish.
I'm just that one kind of hurt.
No, but this is a good day. I mean, to enjoy. And we need, no matter what occasion it is, a day that makes people feel good in general is always a good day.
Oh, I
Always a good day.
every day that has a Y in it, every Kennedy that has a Y in it, and I celebrate the women who have made a huge influence and have been a huge influence and continue to be that. Some of my mentors have left the planet. Physically, I still feel their presence around me. I can still hear my mother, and I'm a grown ass woman. I got a grown son and grown grandchildren, and my mother still frightens me.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
I'm just a teenager.
She struck the fear. See, that's what parents got to do. That's what a lot of parents are making their mistake.
Oh.
I'm just gonna tell you straight up, parents, you are parents. You don't need to be your kid's friend. Let them get their own friends. You got your own friends. I don't want my friends talking to my kids. Unless they just say hello, how you doing? They don't need to be talking to. I'm not wearing my. Well, I take that back. One of our grandsons, they were making a bag for the Goodwill and Salvation Army.
Yes.
He had this pair of cargo pants. And I said, "Oh, I want them. Don't throw them. Don't take them to the Goodwill. I'll wear them." And as soon as I was like, "No, they still look like boy pants," and I took them off.
Yes, they do. Thank you. Thank you that you remember.
I don't do like jeans well.
Okay.
I do leggings well, but I don't do jeans well, and I don't do cargo pants at all. It's just some stuff I'm just not gonna wear. So I stay in my lane. And I want to salute some of the women that I can remember who have been a huge influence in my life.
Okay.
Mother from the beginning
Yeah.
till the end, no matter how crazy things got for me, no matter what kind of antics I was in for, whatever kind of trouble I would get in. I can't believe I'm telling you, but I was. I really wasn't a troublemaker. Wait, why you trying to? Why? See, you ain't being funny.
I almost choked when you said you went to trouble. Oh, wait a minute. You went what? Say what? Say
Who say what? You're not being. I said and you know I wasn't a troublemaker. I didn't go and start
mm.
trouble. I was an
Oh,
instigator. I'll
oh,
instigate.
okay.
I will.
Okay. All right. So we changed the name to protect the guilty.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Not the innocent, the
Yeah.
guilty.
Because I know where the bodies are buried, and they know where my
Okay.
bodies are buried. They know they got a lot of stuff on them.
Oh.
It's a good thing that as we get older, one of the first things that start fading is your memory. And I think it's because we need space to get some new memories, and so
Oh,
you
to make new memories.
so you don't
Well, yeah.
talk it up all with the past. But we had a very colorful past.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a dull day like ever. Not ever. We'd never have a dull day.
Not at your house. No, it was not.
Not
At,
in
at your house, no. It was always. I used to bring people over to be entertained. And okay, now how many people will bring people over to their girlfriend's house so they could be entertained?
and you gave them instructions.
Look, don't get in the middle of it. Just sit back, watch, and be entertained.
See, and that's what happened in China. Because after I hugged all the people in Shanghai that I could hug before I was escorted out of the airport, and and it was like, okay. So then one day, Stacy had signed me up to do television because I was there to
Yes,
find out how that worked. And do you know
yes,
China there's only one man who controls all the media. And I don't know what they said to him about me, but he was in some other city in China, and he flew down to come and meet me. He said, "I want to meet the mother love." They always call me the mother love. I want to meet the mother love, and I didn't know who he was. I was just laughing and joking and having a good time, and he was really fluent in English, so I didn't have a problem. He laughed so hard. He said, "I want to put you on television, and I'm gonna put you on Chinese television, and we'll start with a small market first." And I said,
yeah.
"What's a small market?" He said, you remember the number he said?
400,000.
No, he said 200 million people.
Oh, 20 minutes. You're right. Oh, right. I'm my bad. Yes.
Million,
It's and that was a small. I'm like when you got 1.4 million. I okay. 200 million.
and
Wasn't a lot.
we looked at each other like, that's the small market? That's like almost all of the America. Well, and they told me, don't make big hand gestures. Just talk low. I was on the program with she would have been, if I could make her comparable to someone here in the United States, she would have been comparable to Johnny Carson. She was the big cheese and late night television, which went from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, everything stopped. They turned off everything except all the lights. They had lights on during the daytime. They have lights on all night long. No wonder they got a high utility bill. But nonetheless, so the lady was speaking in Chinese to me,
Yes.
and Stacy was my translator.
Yes.
And and it was like a delay because I would say something and
Yes.
then would translate, and then it would be like 1, 2, 3, and then people would laugh because they could get the translation.
Right.
Then I don't know how this happened. I'm talking to the lady, and Stacy is our my translator.
Yes.
She stopped translating because the lady understood everything that I was saying. And she asked me, and I understood it completely. She asked me, would I mind tossing to this is my words, because I really couldn't understand. She said, what would be the equivalent? Toss it to a break, and we'll come back with you up. And I said, and we'll be right back after these messages to continue to watch I Am Mother Love. And she just fell out. Then when we stood up, she stood up, and I was just that's supposed to shake her hand, and she reached out her arms to me like this. And what was I gonna do? Leave her hanging? I walked into the hug, and it was all over the newspapers the next day. And that was the day they said that I had stripped in the square. Remember, we were all dressed up.
Well, but you did. Okay.
I did not.
That's it. Yeah, okay. Shame the devil, tell the truth. Now look. You had a change of wardrobe and Tenement Square. In case you forgot, in Tenement Square was only about 100,000 folks in there.
No, It was, and so my say is because I said, well, let me go in the bathroom and change my clothes. And our guy said, you don't want to go into the Chinese bathroom. The women's bathroom is horrific.
Yes.
And they don't use toilet paper.
Well, no,
Yeah.
don't wait a minute. To take that back.
I-
Yes, they do.
They
Wait a
do.
minute. At certain places,
They don't.
they don't. Okay, but you happen to be in a place that they did. But the fact that you said, okay, I need to just change clothes, so there's made a circle around you right there in the middle of the square, and you change clothes.
All I did was put my pants on up under my skirt. Then I pulled my skirt down. I buttoned up my pants, and then I took off my shirt, my cute shirt, and I put on, something I didn't mind getting messed up while we were walking around. And then the day after that, it's on the front page of the paper, and people are saying, "That's the naked lady. That's the naked lady." I'm like, I wasn't naked. But I mean, it got me a lot of press in China, and we have been able to keep relationships going with several of the people in China. And so, I mean, hey, what can I say? They treated me like a rock star, so I acted like a rock star.
Oh,
That's how that.
That's how that went down.
That's how that went. And I want to salute the women in my life who have been instrumental. My mother, my sisters, my aunts. I mean, and I got some colorful relatives. Oh, remember when you went to meet two of my mother's sisters at the same time, and you went, hey, everybody has their own personality, and it was really something. We had one aunt, and she was the pretty girl. I mean, she dressed to the nines. She was built like a brick house. The fellas were falling all over her. I mean, she could have 4 or 5 boyfriends at one time up there trying to court her. And they started. One of my sisters, they had the same thing. They could have their boyfriend, their former boyfriend, their current boyfriend. Their current. They could all be around all of them. I was like, oh, that's.
Well, some people have it like that.
Yeah, they had it like that.
I mean, and that's amazing. I mean, that people, it shows you that people can get along if they want to.
If they want to. But it's like with all of our family members, you could, not like people in your family, might be talking about them like a dog behind their back, but let some kind of adverse activity happen.
And you right there by their side.
That's it. And all we had to say is, I'm calling my sisters. And my sister would say, I'm calling my uncles. And my uncle would say, I'm calling my brothers. And then it would be on. And they would see them coming down the walkway like a military, a military procession. It was like, oh, I forget they all crazy. We better go back in the house. Because, I mean, we done seen some stuff. I saw a man get murdered in front of me when I was like 14 years old. This woman came out. She was screaming behind him, and she had a hatchet.
A hatchet?
She had that was the other lady with the boyfriend I had at the time. He jumped out the window. She came back.
Yeah, well.
Okay,
yeah.
but he had a butcher knife. And the guy out, and he was turning back, and he was backing out the door, and it was a couple of steps, and he slipped on the step. She jumped over the step onto his body and stabbed him multiple times, blood in every place. And they said I was in shock because
you were.
And my mother sent my brothers and them out there to find me, and the store wasn't even a 5-minute walk away.
No,
something is wrong, and they came, and by the time they came around the corner, the police were there, the ambulance was there, and I was still standing like this with the bags in my hand.
Today's Flavor Flav's birthday. Happy birthday, Flavor Flav. Yeah, we met him down in Cincinnati, Ohio one day.
We did. We done met a whole lot of people. And I can't believe I done just ran my mouth with you this long.
And the time gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Besides your mom, who have been some of the influential women in your life?
My older sisters were quite influential in my life. Several of my female teachers in school were quite and you've been quite now, because you were influential.
I was.
You are. You are. Okay. You still are. I have to take that. You are. You still are. No, let's see. That hair gonna be so big, she ain't gonna be able to get out the studio.
It's this big since forever. You gotta have to deflate it,
inflate it, reflate it. Okay. Well,
contrary to popular belief, people, I can be checked. I have been checked. This is
Really?
this is when you know you really been checked. I done told y'all this story. I got checked by these little twin girls. They couldn't have been no more than 5 or 6. It's
Yeah.
Christmas time. We getting ready to ride up on the fire truck with Santa and
Yes.
the twins, and it was like a bunch of influential people that were up on the fire
Yes.
truck. And so they were coming and they got them because let the little kids on. And
Yeah.
I'm standing by the door and I'm greeting everybody. And I
Mhm.
said, "Hi, I'm Mother Love. I'm the Christmas fairy. I'm Santa's helper in the hood." They go, "You're not a fairy." I said, "What?"
Okay, 5 seconds,
Okay,
4 seconds.
okay,
Oh, you're watching your clock. Quickly tell your story.
okay. So I said, "These are fairy wings." They go, "Oh, no, no, no. Those are butterfly wings." And they said it in unison. "Oh no, those are butterfly wings." Next time they saw me, that next Christmas, I had fairy wings. Happy
Okay.
St. Patty's Day to everyone.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Somebody that you love that's Irish. I kiss somebody that you love that's not. Mwah! Peace and blessings, my people.
See ya.